try to give myself grace. Everybody says give yourself grace. It's so hard for me to do that. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
Brittney Griner sat on the bench in tears. Across the court, Aaliyah Boston lifted her teammates into the air as the Indiana Fever stormed into the semifinals for the first time since 2015. Nobody saw this coming. Not with 6 players injured, not without Caitlin Clark, and certainly not against an Atlanta Dream squad that was younger, deeper, and fully loaded. Yet the impossible happened. Indiana flipped a story of injuries into one of the biggest playoff shocks in years. But how? And did Griner's breakdown signal something bigger? The end of her reign as the league's most dominant center?
And Mitchell's been quiet for a while. Not anymore. In Canada with another assist. A big bounce-back night for her. Mitchell dribbles behind the line to take the 3. Howard with the one-handed rebound and putback.
6 players, gone. Clark, Cunningham, Coulson, Bibby, McDonald, and Dantas, all sidelined. Half of Stephanie White's rotation wiped out. On paper, Indiana had no chance. Analysts weren't just skeptical, they flat out dismissed them. No Clark, no chance, one headline read. But while the world counted them out, the Fever carried nearly a decade of playoff pain into Atlanta. Since 2015, Indiana had been rebuilding, retooling, and waiting. This was supposed to be another wasted season. Instead, desperation lit a fire, and that fire would soon burn brighter than anyone imagined.
You talked about the desperation before Game 2 on Tuesday. Just how does that carry over into tonight?
Well, I think anytime that you're a win or go home situation, there's desperation. And so it has to carry over. You know, we're in the same situation. Our back is against the wall. We got to come out and we've got to play with that sense of urgency. We've got to play with that hunger. We've got to value every single possession and every single opportunity.
Atlanta had health, depth, and home court. Indiana had nothing but desperation. Yet sometimes desperation is the most dangerous weapon. The Fever's back was against the wall, and instead of breaking, they bit back. Remember, last time Indiana won in the playoffs, Tamika Catchings was still leading the roster, Natasha Howard was a rookie, and Stephanie White was pacing the sidelines. Now, White was back with a new cast, and history was on the line. But history wasn't the only thing shifting that night. The entire building started to change too.
We've just been through so much this season, giving ourselves another chance in Game 3. Emotions are high.
This is a group that's confidence has really never wavered. This group has continued to show their heart, their character, night in and night out.
I think we all piggyback off each other within our group and our organization.
We've been in every kind of situation you can imagine, and we've been able to find ways to put ourselves in position to win, and this will be no different.
Somebody has to lose it.
By halftime, Gateway Center didn't sound like Atlanta's home anymore. Fever fans roared so loudly they drowned out the Dream faithful. Every shot, every hustle play, felt like it was happening in Indianapolis. And it wasn't just the fans. Indiana's injured stars turned into sideline generals. Cunningham coached from the bench. Bibby rallied huddles, and Caitlin Clark, laced in all-black Air Force Ones, became a spark plug. Fever fans online swore those shoes were a good luck charm. And whether it was luck or something more, that energy carried into the players who needed it most.
I don't think I really gotten through all the way. That I didn't let down, everybody in my family, and it was just. I think I'm still trying to get through that part. Still to this day. I try to give myself grace. Everybody says give yourself grace. It's so hard for me to do that. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
For Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and Aaliyah Boston, this wasn't just a playoff win, it was validation. Years of grinding, being overlooked, and playing through losses finally paid off. Hull, once fighting just for minutes, made game-winning plays. Mitchell, long the silent star, finally got her stage. And Boston? She was about to step into a spotlight that used to belong to one of the league's giants. Because this wasn't just a win, it was the start of a generational shift.
Y'all are a tough bunch of
I mean, I cannot even put into words how proud I am. It's like the toughness that it takes, like the gut checks that it takes. Like, yo, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we've been through all of it, right? So it doesn't matter the circumstance, it doesn't matter the score, it doesn't matter the time. You always put your best foot forward. You always get to the next play, and it's always someone different.
For years, Brittney Griner owned the playoffs, the unstoppable post presence, the rim protector that haunted opponents. But in this series, and especially in Game 3, something shocking happened. Griner was benched in crunch time. The Dream's coaches didn't trust her to close. That decision screamed louder than any headline. The throne was slipping away, and the player taking it? Aaliyah Boston. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Boston's stat line was strong, but the moment was bigger. With under 10 seconds left and the season tied, she caught the ball, muscled inside, and banked in the go-ahead layup. Cold, calm, unstoppable. Defensively, she smothered Griner, forcing fadeaways, cutting off drives, and making the former MVP look uncomfortable. What was once automatic for Griner became bricks and frustration, and that frustration would boil over in a way nobody expected. When the buzzer sounded, Griner couldn't hold it in. Cameras caught her in tears, admitting she felt like she'd let down her family, her teammates, and herself. "It's my fault," she said softly. It wasn't just a bad night, it was a crisis of confidence. When your coach benches you in an elimination game, it's not just strategy, it's doubt. And with that doubt came the whispers. Retirement, decline, a closing chapter. But while one career faced questions, another was being cemented by sheer willpower. Boston didn't carry the night alone. Kelsey Mitchell exploded for 24 points, including 19 in the first half, keeping Indiana alive when the game could have collapsed. Odyssey Sims, yes, the hardship pickup, played like she'd been there for years. 16 points, 8 assists, and the game's most important pass, the one that set up Boston's clutch layup. And Lexi Hull? She sealed it with a last-second steal that erased Atlanta's miracle chance. Indiana didn't just win, they stole the game piece by piece, player by player. Every contribution mattered. Brianna Turner's defensive rotations, Natasha Howard's hustle, Timpson's 5 rebounds in just 4 minutes, and Shaw Petty's clutch 3 that swung momentum. These weren't headline plays, but they were the bricks in Indiana's wall of resilience. This was no one-woman show. It was a patchwork masterpiece. And the masterpiece wouldn't be complete without the heartbeat coming from the bench. The Fever's injured army became their secret weapon. Clark shouting in every huddle, Cunningham coaching like an assistant, Bibby screaming encouragement. Indiana had been burned by controversial officiating earlier in the series. But instead of breaking, they stayed calm. That sideline energy gave them composure Atlanta didn't have. And it was that composure that carried Indiana into the one matchup they both feared and craved. The reward? The Las Vegas Aces. Aja Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, the back-to-back champs. Vegas had just escaped Seattle thanks to Wilson's 38-point night. Now, Indiana faces a team built for dynasties, and all eyes will be on Boston versus Wilson. Whoever controls the paint controls the series. For Boston, it's the ultimate test. Can the rookie cornerstone rise against one of the greatest forwards to ever play? Because if she can, Indiana's future looks terrifying for the rest of the league. When the buzzer sounded, it didn't feel like just the end of a series. It felt like a passing of the torch. Brittney Griner, once untouchable, sat quietly as whispers of decline swirled. Aaliyah Boston stood tall, not just winning a game, but rewriting the story of who rules the paint. Indiana's future now looks brighter than ever. If they can knock off Atlanta missing half their roster, imagine what happens when Clark and the rest return healthy. So, was this the end of Griner's dominance, or the beginning of a Fever dynasty? One thing's for sure, the league just changed, and everyone felt it.